doors and I recognized your faces, so it's good to see you here tonight. Yeah, I'm David Bressler. I'm running for the NYS Assembly, Republican Party for District 26. It covers Bayside, Little Neck, Whitestone, Douglaston, and North Flushing. And I'm proud to be here, and I thank the Bayside Historical Society for having us today and tonight. I'm retired from Enterman's. I've been there 18 years. I retired in June. People said I lost weight, but I don't get free product anymore, so that's why I lost weight. I'm also on the board of managers at the Bay Club in Bay Terrace. I've been doing voluntary work for 10 years, former president, had a lot of challenges there, and I decided to run because of what the speakers before me said. Albany is really a cesspool with corruption, wasted taxpayer dollars. Our community is affected by overdevelopment, and our community is affected by unfair and high property taxes. And no one seems to be addressing that. And that's why I put my hat in the ring, because I could have retired and gone to Bermuda and had cocktails and lived a good life. But I decided because I wanted to help save our state and city. Now, in order to do the corruption, in order to eradicate corruption or reduce corruption, term limits is important as far as I'm concerned. The city has it right, the state has it wrong. It's 2-year terms, and they could be there for life. And then you get entrenched, and you get really close to developers and contractors, and bad things happen, as you people know, right? The party leaders a couple of years ago were indicted, and Shelley Silver was sentenced this past June. There's another assemblyman in Rochester. It doesn't matter what party, Democrat, Republican. It's very, very corrupt there. And then, oh, that's it? Wow, I was having so much fun.
You want to just complete your thought quickly?
What's that?
You want to complete your thought? 10 seconds?
10 seconds. Just wanted to say, also wasted taxpayer dollars. I want to have an oversight committee. $10 billion was wasted by Governor Cuomo with upstate projects. He wanted to develop jobs. The only thing it created was 2 of his closest aides were convicted of bribery. One was sentenced 2 weeks ago, Joseph Prococo. So we got to have oversight there. And overdevelopment, no excuse if you live in Bay Terrace for that atrocity on 215th Street off Bell Boulevard. A 4-story building in a 2-family residential area on a 1-way street. They're building a 4-story building with transient tenants and daycare center. Should have been stopped. And it's ridiculous and unfair to that community, and they're up in arms about it.
Thank you. Okay. Question time. A local building in your district has been singled out by preservationists, historians, community activists, and the Bayside Historical Society as unique and worthy of saving. Additionally, this building meets the Landmark Preservation Commission's requirements for landmarking. This designation will take away the owner's rights to demolish or seriously alter the building's exterior. Will you support the landmarking?
I will. I think it's important to have landmarks in our great community, especially Bayside. Bayside and Whitestone are landmark communities for so many years. I don't know if anyone's on Greg Sullivan's page. He showed pictures of Bayside in the 1900s. It was fascinating. So to answer your question, yes.
Great. And there's part B to that is, will you support the landmarking if the owner is opposed to it, while the entire preservation community mentioned above is in support?
I will support it.
Right. Thank you. Next question. A single-payer health plan was proposed for New York State. Would you support this, and how would you pay for it?
No, I wouldn't support single payer. No, I really wouldn't. The healthcare system, as we know, is a debacle, right? And I was trying to propose to some of the elected officials that we should have a system, just like we have the taxes on income, you should pay the insurance. Well, maybe we should start doing that on income. You pay on the income you have like you do with taxes. Because right now, we're paying high premiums, people can't afford it, and it's just a disgrace. But again, I'm not going to solve the healthcare program tonight, but that's something we're thinking outside the box and something we might do.
Okay, and we have one tiny question for you.
Yeah.
We've received support from the years from Frank Padovan, from Senator Miller, from Assemblyman Braunstein, from Ann Margaret Carosa, other people, through state financial grants. If you become a state assembly person, will you support us?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I was telling her, I like the way this whole meet the candidates, man, I was gonna become a member.
You should.
Okay.
You all
So,
should.
oh,
Great. Now, one minute closing
One
statement.
minute. Hey, folks, we all know the political discourse out there, Republicans, Democrats is vicious and uncalled for and uncivilized. I met a gentleman in the audience, he was a Democrat, I went to his door, and I was joking with him that he was, he said, I'm not voting for you, which is his right, but he did it in such a kind and humorous way and a civil way. And he said to me, can't we have this civil conversation all around? And he's so right. And those that know me at the Bay Club and been on the board for 10 years, I reach out to everyone. And I'll be reaching out to all elected officials. No uncivil tone. My campaign hasn't been uncivil. I give my credit to my opponent, hasn't been uncivil. It's been civil. It's all been about the issues, and that's the way I want it to be, and that's the way it should be all around, okay? We have a community that has a lot of issues. It's a beautiful community. It's a great place to live, no question about it, but we have issues. Overdevelopment, like property taxes, unfair property taxes, roads and highways are deteriorating. We need to come together because community matters. And it doesn't matter you're Republican or Democrat. Is there an elected official that really doesn't care about the community? Absolutely not. So we have different methods on how to obtain a better community. That's why we run different, that's why we have opponents. But, okay, thank you so much. It was great seeing everyone, and I'll see you, I'll be knocking on your door.
Thank you. I just want to remind everybody, please,